Ever wondered who Saint Porphyry of Gaza was, and why he is commemorated on February 26th? Born around 347 AD in the city of Thessalonica, Saint Porphyry was a figure of immense significance in the early Christian church. His journey to becoming the Bishop of Gaza was marked by a relentless dedication to the Christian faith. Gaza, during his time, was one of the last strongholds of paganism in the Roman Empire. Arriving in a city deeply rooted in pagan beliefs and practices with temples dedicated to various gods, Porphyry had a challenging mission ahead of him. His pastoral work was twofold: caring for the existing Christian community while working tirelessly to convert the city's pagan inhabitants. His approach combined preaching, acts of charity, and the construction of churches. Not as widely known as other saints, Saint Porphyry's life is celebrated for his pastoral work and his relentless efforts in converting the city of Gaza from paganism to Christianity. When Porphyry arrived in Gaza, he found a city deeply rooted in pagan beliefs and practices. This presented a formidable challenge to his mission to bring Christianity to its people. Gaza was a stronghold of paganism, a city teeming with temples dedicated to various gods, a place where pagan priests held considerable sway, and where pagan institutions were deeply entrenched. But who was Porphyry, and why would he take on such an overwhelming task? He was a man of faith, a shepherd to his flock, and a missionary with an unshakable belief in his calling. He was a man who saw beyond the towering temples and the throngs of pagan worshippers, to a future where the teachings of Christ would take root and flourish. However, the path to this future was fraught with obstacles. Imagine for a moment the resistance he encountered. The pagan priests, guardians of the old faith, would not have welcomed his message. They were powerful figures, revered by the people, and they held sway over the city's spiritual life. Their opposition to Porphyry's mission would have been formidable. Moreover, the people of Gaza were not merely passive followers of the pagan faith. Their beliefs were woven into the fabric of their daily lives, their identities tied to the gods they worshipped. To them, Porphyry's message would have seemed foreign, perhaps even threatening. Yet, Porphyry did not falter. He knew that his mission would not be accomplished through force or intimidation. He understood that to change a person's belief, he needed to reach not only their minds but also their hearts. So, he approached his task with patience and compassion, providing pastoral care to the Christian community and reaching out to the pagans. He preached the teachings of Christ, performed acts of charity, and began the construction of churches. His approach was not one of destruction but of building a community, building understanding, and building a new place of worship. The challenges were significant, but Porphyry was undeterred. He was a man on a mission to bring the light of Christianity to the city of Gaza. Despite the initial resistance, Porphyry remained a persistent and dedicated missionary. His story is a testament to the power of faith, patience, and unwavering dedication in the face of adversity. One of Porphyry's most notable achievements was the destruction of the pagan temples in Gaza. In a city deeply entrenched in pagan beliefs where temples were not just places of worship, but also integral parts of the social and cultural fabric, this was no easy task. Porphyry knew that to truly convert the city, he would need to replace these pagan temples with Christian churches. To do so, he would need to secure permission from the Byzantine Emperor, Arcadius. Now, this wasn't just a matter of asking nicely. Remember, we're talking about the 4th century here, an era when communication was not as simple as shooting off an email or making a phone call. Porphyry had to craft a convincing argument, detailing why these temples should be demolished and replaced with Christian churches. Then, he had to send this petition off to the emperor, not knowing when or even if he would receive a response. But Porphyry was not deterred. He was steadfast in his mission and unwavering in his faith. After what must have felt like an eternity, Porphyry finally received the news he had been hoping for. Emperor Arcadius had granted him permission to destroy the pagan temples. This was a significant victory, but the real work was just beginning. Imagine the monumental task of tearing down these massive structures, built with the intention of lasting through the ages. But Porphyry and his followers were undeterred. They labored tirelessly, stone by stone, until the last of the pagan temples had been reduced to rubble. But they didn't stop there. On the very sites where these temples once stood, Porphyry oversaw the construction of Christian churches. These new centers of worship became symbols of the Christian faith, replacing the old symbols of paganism. This was a considerable undertaking that further established the presence of Christianity in the area. And while it was surely a physically demanding task, it was also a deeply symbolic one. Each stone that was laid down in the construction of these new churches represented a step away from the old pagan ways and a step towards a new Christian identity for the city of Gaza. Beyond his evangelizing work, Saint Porphyry was also known for his ascetic lifestyle and his compassion for the poor and the sick. He lived a life of piety, simplicity, and humility, reflecting the teachings of Christ in his every action. Saint Porphyry was not merely a preacher or a bishop. He was a shepherd to his flock, caring for each member with the same love and attention a shepherd would give to his sheep. He dedicated his life to pastoral care, extending his service beyond the bounds of the church to reach the hearts of the people. His compassion for the poor and the sick was legendary. He was often seen tending to the sick, giving alms to the poor, and comforting the distressed. His love was not selective, it was abundant and universal. This great bishop did not just preach love and compassion, he lived it. His leadership and dedication played a key role in the Christianization of Gaza. By the time of his death on February 26, 420 AD, Gaza had become predominantly Christian. Saint Porphyry's life was an extraordinary testament to the transformative power of faith and dedication. Born in Thessalonica around 347 AD, he embarked on a journey that would culminate in his becoming the bishop of one of the last bastions of paganism in the Roman Empire, Gaza. His mission was no easy feat. Gaza was deeply entrenched in pagan beliefs, with its social and cultural fabric woven tightly around numerous temples dedicated to various gods. Yet Saint Porphyry persistently and passionately pursued his mission. His strategy was twofold: nurturing the existing Christian community while simultaneously working towards the conversion of pagans. He combined preaching with acts of charity and replaced the demolished pagan temples with churches, thus solidifying the presence of Christianity in the area. But his legacy extends beyond the conversion of a city. Saint Porphyry was a beacon of compassion, known for his ascetic lifestyle and his unfaltering care for the poor and the sick. He was a shepherd to his flock, guiding them with love and humility. His dedication to the faith and his relentless efforts to spread Christianity in one of its early and challenging frontiers have left an indelible mark on the Christian world. Remembered for his commitment to the faith, Saint Porphyry left a lasting impact on the region, truly embodying the spirit of a saint.